lucky people, the great chop, and Christmas trees cost how much? All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
Good morning, Joe. I think we're talking Christmas costs. How are you?
I'm here. I'm here.
Amazing. You are like
Yay.
Horton. We're here. We're here.
I hear
We're
a who.
here.
I hear a who. Okay. You went for the last one of the three.
Melissa, how are you?
I'm here.
Oh, fuck.
Hee. I am here.
Do 10 seconds. How's the family? How's the hip? How's the quick update? Are we at stasis? Are we stable? Are we on the mend and running marathons? Like, where are we?
Dear listener, I went the last 5 days to visit my parents in Florida. My father fell and broke his hip. So immediately everybody says, oh, that's the beginning of the end. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything. But 4 days prior, we had this trip planned because my parents are moving into an independent living. I'm trying to do this in a nutshell. We were going down to help them pack, to ship things up here for us, to move things to storage, and now we had more to do. Actually, now that I think about it, somebody wasn't yelling at us that we were doing something wrong while he was there because he wasn't there. He was in the hospital.
Thank you.
We fly in and we go to rent a car. Amy, I think you'll appreciate this. There's nobody at the counter when we get there. So we've just flown there. My father's in the hospital with a broken hip. We're going to manage him. We're going to manage my mother in the move. I brought one of my kids with me. Nobody at the counter. Ding, ding. Anybody we can. Finally, somebody shows up. It's now, we left the Northeast where it was 23 degrees and now it's 83 degrees. So we're sweating through our clothes. It's not enjoyable. Nothing in this trip is enjoyable. So we finally get the guy. It's 38 minutes to get a rental car. The two couples behind us. And don't you hate it when people make your tribe look bad?
Well, sometimes.
When I told you it was a Luigi who
made
assassinated.
my tribe look good. I know you were going to go there.
That's true. I guess that's true.
I was thinking more like Columbus. He made my tribe look good.
Let's go with Columbus. Yeah, you're right.
What up, fucking Marconi? Thanks for the tunes, bruh.
Appreciate, right.
That's it.
So these two couples behind me, which I know exactly who they are, but they start screaming, is there no one else at the counter who can help us?
God,
and they
no,
lost their minds.
It's a trope.
It was awful. So I turned around with like the dirty look that only my mother would give in a crowded movie theater with somebody making noise, opening a candy. Like, would you shut the fuck up? I'm getting service here. It took us forever, and it took them. I can't even imagine.
I love that you had the energy to shame. I mean, this is
I gave them
pro. Yeah.
So we get a car. We get in a
listener. If you're dear listener, excuse me for dropping the honorific, dear listener. Since you may not have the visual, she flashed such a shut the fuck up frown.
It was my mother's look.
I hesitated to keep talking. Okay.
I borrowed it from my mother this week. So we get in the car. We're finally, let's just go pick up the old lady who has tuna fish and egg salad and a schmear and a bagel waiting for us and go see my father in the hospital. We pull out and we're stopped at a red light and a car nails us from behind. We're just sitting there talking and we're rear-ended. Look, all I'm trying to say is it's not the trip we planned. And when we planned it.
Yep.
We have a sick human. We have a car accident. We have. So point being, I went to Florida, saw my father, crisis left and right. Our family, Amy, I think you understand this, deals with crisis with humor. We do. In our home, we've created a death pool because humor is our coping mechanism. Other people use drugs. Other people use therapy or positive humor.
Or complete denial. Yeah, there's lots
or
of strategies.
Denial, yes.
Yes.
So we have a death pool, and we put on it, which is so callous and awful outside of our home, but inside of our home, it totally makes sense. My father
You really are cutthroat. Normally, this is reserved for like celebrities.
No.
Okay, so it's the who's kicking it first. Gotcha.
My oldest canine, my father, or I have a girlfriend we've discussed who is very sick right now. So it's like the top 3 on our list. And we made the joke once. It's not funny how outside of our home, but inside our house, we all have calluses. We're fine. Well, coming home from this trip, we went to pick our dogs up at the kennel, and our 2 girls fought.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And our 11-year-old poodle has 3 puncture wounds from this fight. And she, yesterday, when we came home, was not moving. She couldn't lift her head. She was a fucking mess. So I have one friend in a nursing home. I have my father that we just sent to a rehab with high hopes. We have him, and we now have this dog who is both limping and can't lift her head. So our humor came right back to bite us in the ass because
you guys starting to put you're starting to put oil on your stair treads. What's next?
No, but I know that we are more powerful than we thought we were in the beginning. So I'm going to start a new. Well, we just made a joke, and these 3 souls are slipping, and I can't have that. So
I don't think that you were amplifying. My fear is that you're going to add a 4th. Like, I'm not interested in that kind of power, right? You need to dial it back.
Well,
okay.
If I
Hoodoo
have
wizard.
that power.
I spoke to a friend. I went to a Christmas party. I spoke to a friend. I went to a Christmas party last night, and I don't know how the conversation cut to. She was like, "But we can't just look like witches." And I was like, "Why not?" Like, meaning when you get so old and haggard and haggardly. I was like, "Why not?" She's like, "We can't." She's particularly beautiful. She was like, "We can't look like witches." And I was like, "Yes, we can. Come on."
Was this a let aging happen conversation? Let aging gracefully?
There was, if I don't even remember how it started. It could have been there was one of many chippies there who are some of the outfits people wear to these Christmas parties. I just don't have the words, honestly. And it's the kind of thing where I lose respect for the man that brung you. More so than I do for you, dopey girl.
Wow.
Because you're old enough to know better. And if you hadn't got there yet, you're either Dolly Parton doing it for your own fun, or you don't even know what you're doing. So I can't fault either one of those, honestly.
Did you get the full array, like the teacher who's wearing the sweater with pom-poms and the leather pants and then formal gown? Like, did you get the full array? Because
it was everything from I just rolled out from underneath this car that I'm refurbishing. Flannel. Some sort of visible thing on the face, like maybe a black eye, maybe a punch on the cheek, like maybe kept a looking.
I want to go to this party so badly.
Real short and just the sprightliest looking gay you could ever love. She was tough, but I did not want to tussle. You are welcome to the prime rib first. I will take a step back. Right? You just beat me in line. And they gave away, it was one of these, it was a friend's work party, and I went as a +1. That's why I was there. And they gave away tons and tons, and it was just a plethora of giveaways. And the mechanic-ish gal won a like portable city bike, one of those foldable collapsibles.
So cool.
Yes. And she sat on the box and was scooting around on the box, like before she unpacked it. She was so excited. She was like, "I can't wait."
She was excited.
So I was like, "I love you."
Was there a puppy this year? You had a puppy at a previous
No,
one.
there's no puppy this time. That was for a fundraiser. That was obscene. This was just take all our money. So, and then anyway, then you had the people who were wearing literal floor-length formal gown, which is nice, but also I'm not sure that really goes. Most of the people were wearing a pair of slacks and a sweater, male and female. So it was, everybody kind of was making it happen. And then you had the knee-high patent leather go-go boots in white with cream, in a Christmas cream, a beige, if you will, with a sequined miniskirt dress, blonde hair down to the ass, floofed up like an American Girl doll, with a literal fucking bow on the back of her head, debutante style. Now, I don't mind bows. I don't mind bows on little girls. I don't mind bows on big women. I am pro bow. I have no problem with the bow. This bow was obscene. It was a Christmas tree-sized fucking bow
Oh,
on the top
wow.
of her head, ready to attract owls and hawks and all sorts of other shit. And she was just a bouffant bitch. I don't know what the hell was happening. And the man that she was with thought he had some sort of child bride prize. It was the weirdest looking setup. And I previously adjacently know this guy as someone who like brings some brain matter to the table, right? He could make something happen. Meanwhile, what is wrong with you? What are you doing is what I want to know. It was gross.
It's curious.
She was clearly over 40, and I'm being generous, okay? She could have been older than me. And she was one of these hard, fit ladies where she's like, keep it coming, Reaper. I got you beat. And I'm like, but do you? Because you've been stretched and pulled in so many ways, like your skeleton showing. I get what you're trying to do. I really do. That's why we're talking this way. Because then I came around to this idea of, look, witch okay? Take a look at my power. If you're not afraid of me and the power, I could add you to my list of 3, clown. I should look the part. And also, I kind of don't mind. I don't want to look like a haggard old crone.
Toil and trouble. Yeah.
But looking like I don't give a fuck what you think, that's my look. So somewhere in the middle, I would still like to be a high vibe look, which is very different. I want to attract people and personality and vibe and joy and excitement and companionship and community. I want to attract the best of all that's good. And I want people who are interested in design and presentation. I love all of that. So so that means I want an air of attractiveness. What I don't want is to be the go-go boot bow-wearing biatch that has lost all sense of perspective, right? Because what are you trying to do except cling to the last 2 minutes your tits got before they give out? Oh, that's what it is. Somebody grabbed my tit. We were talking about tits. That's how the whole thing started. Somebody accidentally bumped into me and grabbed a hold of my boob and said, oh, I'm sorry for the tit grab. And I'm like, oh, whatever.
As you do.
And we were just talking about, and I'm short, so the tits are in the wrong place for this tall person. Like, it was just a whole... It had to do with like geographic proximity of nipple and all the things, you know. Anyway, back to you in the death list.
From tits and flannel to formal.
Oh, the prime rib was very good, by the way.
Yeah, you had me a prime rib.
It was super good.
Flannel. And
it was super good. Yeah. They had a magician. He was not good. Made me angry, but that's okay.
No, I like Christmas parties. I like all of that. The death list was really just to say, careful what you joke about. Your reposts have gotten me again this week because you say, well, you reposted one about being lucky.
I did. Okay.
So those who think they're lucky have more luck.
Oh, the scientific one. Yeah,
Yes.
that's always fun. I love it when the science backs up my bullshit. I absolutely know. Well, I know it to be true. It's bone deep. It's DNA deep.
Finished without any evidence whatsoever.
I found one this morning on DNA, and it was so gorgeous, which I, of course, reposted. It'll find its way to you. It appears to be some sort of CGI, AI-generated information graphic. I'm not really sure what it is. It's a video that shows how DNA repairs itself. And they have done it in such a way where it is literally animated so that you can see. I don't know what the little pieces of DNA are called, the tiniest little giblets that are part of that big, long, spinny threads.
Like
right?
like alleles on
Sure, I'm not ever going to know. The little pieces,
okay.
The little tiniest, the ones that are colored, there's like a red and a blue in it, the festive part of the DNA strand, right? So they have this guy twisting and turning, and then a big old green something comes busting in and fucks it all up. And you're like, get out of here, dick. And you see all these little things go scattering everywhere. And then, like little ants, they go... They come back and they heal themselves, and it shows how it heals in the various ways that DNA repairs itself. It's just it's a visualization of a biological process. Okay, here's why it's great. Somebody put the fucking Lego fucking clickety-clackety sound behind it. So when the shit is moving, it's going... And you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was in DNA too. Oh, it's so good. I watched it 4 times, and I reposted it. You're welcome.
So being lucky is something that you either, if you think you're unlucky, it goes back to what you used to say about if you are worrying, you're praying for the negative.
Correct.
And if
it's praying for what you don't want.
And who the fuck wants to do that? So I am trying
You're
to
wrong
change
right now.
the
You're
way.
wrong right now. Yeah, 100. And guess what you just did?
You did it again.
You did it again. You did it again. You have to Yoda yourself. When you are trying to do anything,
There is no try.
the universe will bring you a perpetual state of trying. You're not trying. You have to pretend. I'm going to say it in Melissa speak, okay?
Oh, please.
All right? Because there is such a suspension of disbelief that has to happen here. It's almost like you have to disconnect your brain and throw it out. Like, this is the only way you're going to be able to come along with me. You have to decide.
Go ahead.
You have to decide that the fantasy is worth it. Okay? You have to decide. I'm going to pretend, because I'm just speaking to you. I don't think this, but this is the only way you're going to get there, right? You have to decide that you already have everything that you want and need. You have to decide it's not only on the way, but that it's already been done, that it is yours and you possess it. And you need to begin operating, the key word is feeling, as if you already have it. When you feel the state of having, you attract having. You get it all. Now, let me get back to making sure I can describe this in a way that you're going to agree and accept. When you feel like shit and bad things are happening, sometimes you feel like all you can do is bring more shit to you. It just keeps happening. It just keeps layering up.
I mean, life is proving that for me right now. It's piling on top of me.
Okay, you are in a shit swirl right now. It is all around you.
It's
right?
legit.
And it's legit. And it threatens to bring you down. And at the same time, you are number one, God help us, on your list of 3. Ain't none of us getting out of here alive.
That is true.
We're all going. The only question is when and how. And the how doesn't speak to the line 1 of the obituary. The how means, what did you do before, during, and after the event of you clocking out of this time frame? Okay? So putting yourself in a state where you accept and you are grateful for all that you have, even the things that you can't physically see. There is a team assembling now to meet your dream right now. They are assembling. The universe is conspiring in your favor right now. The moment you are in, whether this is the lowest moment or the rockiest of rock bottoms, all of this is happening because it is like that DNA building the fucking strand that is your life, that is the most exciting, highest, greatest. And all you have to do, I would say trust, all you have to do is completely pretend that in the fiction of your life, the ending has already happened, and it's just a matter of you getting there. It's like being on the plane going to your vacation. You don't sit on the plane going to your vacation saying, I'm never going to get there. This plane is going to crash. I can't believe it. I'm so upset. There is no vacation. It's never going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, so it can't ever happen. Instead, you sit on the plane willingly saying, I'm kind of already on vacation on this plane, so I'm going to have a cocktail. Or I'm going to read this book that I never give myself time to read during my regular day. Or I'm going to sit and fucking stare like a psychopath because I never give myself time to do that either. And I'm going to write narratives about all the people around me, and I'm going to watch this silly thing that's on the back of the seat in the fucking sky, right? I'm going to do all these things because my brain has decided I am already on vacation when you're not. You're on a fucking mass transport. So you are capable of great, I was going to say delusion, which I don't really love, but maybe that'll help you get there. You're capable of great delusion. Embrace the delulu and you will make it true. You got to do it, baby.
True.
You got to do it, baby. You have been given the opportunity to change the dynamic with your parents and with yourself and the story of your parents and their role to yourself. Even if you never have a great relationship with your parents, what you're doing now is saying, you know what's important to me? It's important to me to show up as me. I'm not even doing this for you. I'm not even packing these boxes for you. I'm packing these boxes for myself so that I know I did things the way I needed to do it. And I'm packing it for my kids.
Yeah, I modeled that
community.
behavior. I've modeled that behavior this week for my daughter who came with us. On Amy's advice, I packed up those enormous, those bins, the black bins with the yellow tops.
I do the body bins. Yeah,
the body bins.
Some people use them for holiday decorations. Yeah.
All we needed was, what do you pour in there to dissolve a body?
Lye.
I was going to say tar. I'm like, that's wrong.
No,
you
that's
could do both.
That's a different kind of thing. You need a different container. But yep.
So my husband and I packed all of these faces and figurines, and on Wednesday this week they will be here. We shipped them.
They are so gorgeous, you guys. She has such a wealth of just a treasure trove of riches. They are so fantastic. And I know you hate them. And it would break my heart.
Burden, but
it would break my heart for you to line them all up in the driveway and go bowling and break them all. But it might make you happy. So you got to do what you got to do.
I'm going to try to sell them here. But I'll tell you, she also collected, and I'm sure, dear listener, you know these, bunnykins. You know those little bunnykins?
Have heard of, yeah.
She has like 70 of those little bunnykins acting out in different things. And, we went online. What is this worth? $4, $8, nothing at all. So my daughter decided that we should give them out as tips, because when you're on vacation, it's $2 for the valet. It's $5 at the hotel. So we're just going to leave these little bunnykins. I
wholeheartedly support. I'm in very collaborative mode this week. I'm a creative director, and so I've been giving a lot of direction, and I've noticed that my direction is getting much sharper in the sense that I'm just saying it, right? And people don't wither and die the way they used to. I love your daughter's ideas. She can do better. Okay? What we're going to do with these bunnykins, have you ever seen Muck and Brass? It's one of my favorite accounts on all the places, but I'm sure Tick'em Tock'em. Muck and Brass.
No, go ahead.
She's this kooky junk collecting artist who goes to, she calls them charity shops. They're Salvation Army / Goodwill stores. Buys up figurines and shit and repaints them. And puts, like creepy, shitty signs like, I'm giving you this shit gift because I have no money. And it's like but here's the thing. Take a bunnykin and spray paint it fluorescent pink.
I love that.
Take a bunnykin and decoupage it with disco tiles. These bunnykins need another life, and it's an easy one. And now they become not $3 or $4 or $8, but fucking priceless. Especially when you consider what's underneath. And it's a beautiful metaphor for, you gave me a pile of worthless shit, lady, and I turned it into joy. Thank you for my heritage. I'm here for it. I'm fucking here for it. Let's go.
I fucking love that idea. That's like the woman who takes those dolls and she gives those horrible Bratz
precious
dolls.
Moments.
Or
Bratz
them.
dolls. There's somebody who does it with Precious Moments. She takes
you
remember Precious Moments? They're weird.
Hallmark.
They're
Hallmark. Right.
Okay. Well, she takes them and uses acetone and things to or just repaints over them. And so she'll turn the little boy who's like carrying a bucket of apples that he's just picked from the orchard and changes it so that he's throwing up into this bucket. And she'll make like actual textured green vomit all around his feet. It's so good.
I wish we had this conversation before I came home from Florida.
Would you throw them in the garbage?
I left the little ones that have no value. Right. I should have, but I brought home the valuable one. I mean, valuables in air quotes. What
You'll see her again. You'll see her again. I'm sorry to say, she's not going anywhere.
Okay, so I'm going to use my positive thinking and manifesting and all of that to make sure that my third favorite 76er, who's out for the season, who's the phenom, is now down and out, comes back for the playoffs that I'll also manifest that we will be in. So there you have that. Back to the holiday. Amy, what the fuck does a Christmas tree cost?
More than it's worth. Absolutely more than it's worth. It is like eggs. It is like a box of crackers. It has gone insane. Time was, you could expect an obscene markup on anything if it had the following words: baby, marine, wedding, right? Yeah. Any of these things added to anything to some degree, healthcare, right? So add any of these fucking letters to something or words to something, no matter what it is, and there's a premium attached. You have to somehow, it's become designer. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
You had me at bridal. Like, that is something that business is. Go ahead.
I would say that Christmas trees have exploded in cost. It's been inching up year after year, but it got so out of control around, it was probably before 2021. It gets to, it's over $100 for a shitty gas station parking lot, drop all its needles all over your floor, not make it through the holiday, shorter than me tree. They're just not worth it. So we're growing living products that have such low value and they're so expensive. People just aren't doing it anymore. And the people who do make this happen are doing it and financing it for some purpose. They're doing it to create the content. They're doing it so they absorb all of the cost because it's an investment in what they're doing and selling to create this persona online. Or they're doing it because it's a cost of doing the business of their life at the stage where they are. Case in point, when you took your kids to Walt Disney World when they were little, it's not because you wanted to go to Walt Disney World.
Desperately did not want to go.
It's not because you wanted to spend probably more than
Desperately
you would
did
have
not
spent
want to.
on a trip to Europe, right? And I know many parents who said, I can't see spending what I would spend to take our whole family to Europe, to take our kids to Disney World for a week. I can't do it. I can't conceptualize doing it. I remember because I was one of those people. And at the time, we made a decision. This is a core memory, right? This is something that in America, in my perception of what, being a child under my care meant at that time, I decided, and, my husband willingly with me, we decided it's important to make this memory happen. So we actually, thought about it and said, we got 3 kids. We're going to go fucking once and we're going to go big because they're going to get the whole memory and then we're never going to go. And I think part of it happens, I've said this before, my mom took us all to Disneyland when I was in 8th grade. So my brother was, I think he was 19. Like it was ridiculous. She had been waiting so long to be able to afford it, and we went, and it was the kind of thing where we were going for her almost to say, and yes, it was definitely fun. And we got on the plane, and that was a huge deal in our family. It was a very, very big expense, and I could tell, right? But it's the kind of thing where I was participating in probably a core memory for her at the wrong time for me. So part of that was foundational, and that so much of what's going on in my life right now with my youngest, who is in the throes of this college madness and having to go everywhere every weekend, it is more than he can handle physically and more than we can handle financially. Every single weekend going across, in some cases up and down the coast, it is way too much. And at the same time, you only get one bite at the apple. So let's go. I can always make more money. And I am choosing to embody the reality that what's next is better, not that what's next is worse. I am living as if all of the goodness and greatness has already happened, and this is me just, literally turning the corner to see it. I don't see it yet because it's there. It's in the next room. I'm opening the door to go see it. That's how I'm living this, with no evidence, frankly, and with lots of counter evidence, lots of locked fucking doors, lots of blinders, right? And it's just put yourself in the mindset that the universe only has 3 answers for you. And you know this. Your whole life is the truth, right? It only has 3 answers. Yes, not now, and I've got something better. That's it. There's no involved. You either get it now, you have to wait because it's a not yet, or I've got something better. Let me give you this thing you don't even know that you fucking want. Always true.
You might have to come live with me. We did get listener feedback, and some of it was about you.
Why? I mean, good.
Is it the listener feedback? Well, Julia wrote to tell me don't do a podcast about pooping. That's not going to happen. I love you, Julia.
Who wants to give bad feedback? Thanks, Julia.
Wait, it's not all bad. Another one said, hey, Amy really doesn't know how car ownership and leasing works, that you have to... Yeah, they were really surprised.
I do know how it works. It's a fucking scam, and I make the rules. So fuck off.
You make the rules.
I make the rules.
It was shocking to several listeners
Oh,
that
for
you
fuck's
didn't
sake.
understand the process of.
I'm sure I understand it. And also, fuck you. I mean, it's so ridiculous. If it's a lease, I don't own it. Why do I have to pay for any part of it?
That's all in the contracts that you signed 1,000 times
Okay.
saying your maintenance of that vehicle.
Okay. I'll remember that the next time I rent in a fucking apartment. These people are dickholes is what they are.
Okay.
This is why I should have never leased a car. I don't like lease. I freaking either it's mine or it's not. Fuck off. That's it.
And from our most favoritist listener ever,
Uh-oh.
who has sent you those beautiful candles that you are still licking after you've burned them to the bottom. I kept the
container. Yeah.
So I, this week, due to the fact that it's been slightly stressful for me,
Yeah.
1 week that you can't imagine. Yeah. So I got a package from Rusty this week that had kugel chips in them.
Oh my God.
Noodle kugel chips, which I've never heard of.
See?
But it was just a treat, which, by the way, they're fucking delicious. It was a treat just to give me a boost of, because you did say Melissa's kind of going through it.
He understood the assignment.
He really did. And he's just the bestest. So Rusty, I love you. Thank you so much for always listening and looking out for us. Julia, I'm still going to do that podcast.
Thank you.
And everybody else, Amy will figure out what the fine print means and how to read it.
You know what though?
She's not going to.
I have a big life. I have a big life. I am
That's
meant
great.
for greatness here, right? I am meant for so much more than I have already accomplished, and somebody is going to convince me that I've already accomplished a lot. I don't have to fucking read fine print, okay? Let your kids do it. They want to go to law school. And
Yes,
also, how
did
come
that
we
this
have to
week,
have
too.
these fucking laws? I'm so sick of this shit. It's ridiculous. I don't get it.
We signed paperwork on an independent living, and we said, do we have a lawyer look at this? And then we all looked at this little girl in the room who was about to go to law school. We're like, girl, would you look at this for us? And she, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm now going to paint bunnykins.
I love it.
Amy,
Ma'am.
$3,000 is too much to spend on a Christmas tree. Can we agree?
Is it permanent?
No. I saw these TikToks and it was $2,500, $3,000, and
Is
then
it the
they had to get
Rockefeller
it.
tree?
No, that's like $50,000 to $100,000. That one is craziest, but I understand that one. That one brings in tourists. That one makes money for the city. The one in your house, as a Jew, I just don't know. I know every year I have to buy candles, and the price of candles is going up. And strangely, Soufganiot, the jelly donuts that we use, participate with. I don't like jelly donuts. Can do to Boston
Something's
cream.
wrong with you. I don't understand. You obviously haven't had them eaten properly. This is part of your heritage. How do you reject your God? What's wrong with you?
I eat around the big lump of jelly. I
What
eat the
in
donut
fuck
with the
is
white powder,
wrong
and
with you.
I used to wipe it on things as I was growing up just to get the jelly out.
Let's take a boob leg. We need to step out on this ledge. Okay,
Yeah.
jelly, peanut
Yeah.
butter and jelly is a yes.
Peanut
for you.
butter, yes. Hint of jelly on my peanut butter sandwiches.
Okay, what flavor jelly?
Only grape, always grape.
Okay,
Strawberry I'll
what-
tolerate, but come on, do
It
better.
doesn't belong in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so I don't know
Do
why you
better.
would say that. Do better. Thank you. We expect more from
Apricot
you.
preserves in a Hummintashen,
Delicious.
not on a peanut butter sandwich.
No, for fuck's sake. Okay.
So what's your jelly? What's your
I'm
jam,
just trying to
girl?
understand. I am pro jelly. I'm jelly yes
Really?
all the time. What jelly? What could be? I like pepper jelly. Give me a jelly, baby. I love it.
I
Let's
think it's
go.
a texture thing. Maybe the flavor's good, but the
I'm just trying to
gelatinous
understand
mess
why
in
you
my
don't
teeth.
like, arguably, a
Yeah.
top 10 food. Okay?
I'm willing
a
to argue.
pristinely hot, crisp exterior, still yeasty with the dough, crunch on the outside, then stick to your teeth soft, all the way down to the cool, crazily cool center of the jelly with all that tart flavor.
That's
and
it.
It's so
the tart
sweet.
flavor. No, that's not
There
for
is
me.
sugar on the outside, granulated sugar for texture. Okay, then a dusting of powdered sugar for funsies. Then the crisp hotness of that greasy, just flash fried donut. with the yeast. And then the jelly is there to make your heart come alive. It's literally the blood of the donut. This is the blood of Jesus, the Christians speak of. Okay? By his blood we are saved. What is wrong with you?
I'll take the wine instead.
Come on.
It's not for me. Make it a Boston cream and I am in. But yeah, that's
I think I blame the donut, number one. Okay? Because if it was properly made, it is the perfect fucking bite. It's the perfect bite. I don't get you. Anyway, all this by way of saying it's too expensive to make these donuts? Is that what you're saying?
No, the tree is too expensive. I'm just a Jew who doesn't know from buying trees. So that was my...
Well, I am here to tell you that it, like so many other things, has become ruined. It is now less a tradition and more an opportunity for class distinction. So we are, I mean, there are people who use Amazon as a display of their wealth, right? All the people who have to have the keeping up with the Joneses is basically one click away. So all of the world's best, most beautiful Martha Christmas trees, right? Martha wasn't paying that kind of money for a Christmas tree because she was literally cutting it down from her back 40. She was paying $2,500 a week to keep her fucking property with trees on it. So all of this has, sort of caught up with people. But the tree itself, are you talking about tree and all of the decor? Or are you talking about the actual tree?
I'm talking about watching people go through a tree farm and pick them and looking at the price tags that are hanging from them and thinking to myself, I would not do this every year. I would have a special tree if this were my tradition that I put in the attic and brought down from the attic, and it was full and gorgeous. And knowing my spouse, it would be from Costco.
Right.
I would have the Costco tree. And yes, we would do our ornaments, one from each year from the children who blah, blah, blah. And it would, yes. But no.
There is nothing like
the smell of.
No, I'm just trying to cut to it because I haven't had a tree anywhere in my environment. My sister does a real tree every year. In addition to, she's got like 5 fucking trees, but she does at least one real tree. They might all be real for all I know. She's on another planet. It's a bit like having a puppy. It's a bit like having puppies. Going through the process, there is nothing like birthing, having these little animals birthed, in your sunroom and then caring for them around the clock, and then all of the goodness and all of the shit, that literal is shit and the figurative shit that comes with it.
Have you done this?
It is an experience like none other. And it is the kind of thing where if you're going to go back and do that every year, you're a special kind of glutton. So on the one hand, there are people who love puppies so much that they overlook the crap. They overlook the price. They overlook the hassle. They overlook the inconvenience. They overlook the fire risk. They overlook the
possibility that one is going to die during birth and you now need to bury this puppy. And
that's what we think about when we're buying Christmas trees.
That's my... fire risk.
Your brain.
I'm going with the puppies.
I'm just trying to say it is the kind of thing where you say it is a massive amount of hassle. And if you could get a puppy that was almost as good and you didn't have to do any of that shit, you probably would. And I think that's what the majority. So that's all these artificial trees. They have their advantages. There is nothing that beats a brand new tree. In the same way that most recipes, there is nothing that beats it from scratch when someone toiled all the way. But for 99% of the people, you can still appreciate all of the sentimentality, all of the memories, all of the tradition of that dish without spending a week on it and breaking all your fucking knuckles, right? There are some ways that we keep the tradition alive without it. But yeah, I mean, my sister at one year did not 1 year, she maybe still does it, actual lit wax fucking candles on the tree. She lit it with candles on each bough. Right? It's like burn your fucking house down.
Gina, what are you doing?
It was magical, but it's a lot of fucking
for like
work.
8 minutes, and then you're peeling that wax off the hardwood.
You got to light it every fucking time, and you got to stand. I'm just trying to say.
I think that's an aesthetic for pictures, and it's incredible. But then take that shit down. That's a fire hazard. please. That's even without the lights. You've got
now
fire.
she's in this historic property where there's no fire at all. You can't have open flame anywhere. So she's got these candles for when we have meals there. The ones with those little pretend flames that look like it's like a piece of plastic paper or something.
That's like waving.
Well, normally they're so dumb and obvious, but she's managed to find some that I was like, oh my God, are we just breaking the rules? Oh shit, that's fake. Like she got she got some good fake ones. Anyway.
I love that. And that does not add to my theory of after this week of I want less.
You do?
I want less. We talked about the Great Purge and how I'm going to streamline. I want fewer things in my house.
I love it.
I don't want to do to my children what my parents are doing to me right now with this means so much to me. I've always had this. This is your family history. This is your take this. It's a fork. Like I can't put all the meaning in the world on things and make it a burden to me to find the right place for it to go, to then burden that child with that. Nah. My daughter sat there and said, I want a tiny home with no things and a dog. I'm like, well, he's going to have more things than you if that's what you do. I want fewer things. So I am going to continue the purgeability that we have discussed prior to my death trip to Florida. Speaking of purgeability, are you cutting your hair?
Yeah. So I missed a hair appointment and had to go without. And I started using just to get me through whatever event it was. And this was a while ago, like early summer. I missed my hair appointment because sometimes it fucking happens. So I used box dye on my hair, right? And it wasn't the worst thing in the world because I thought, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to damage it. Like I up until that point, I thought there is no way that I can ever do this myself. I'm making, the world will come to a screeching halt. So I did all these fucking things. And then when it didn't, I was like, well, fuck it. I'm not going to go take 4.5 hours to sit there. It takes a long time. I got a lot of hair.
You got a lot of hair.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to fucking take 4.5 hours to,
Are we talking Ashley Madison or are we talking...
I picked out Ashley Madison, hair color, and shinerific, and extra fuck up charge. Like I picked out all this shit and I put it in the cart, and because I thought, just think about it and watch another TikTok video and figure out how to do it so that you can just do it. Because it was the kind of thing where I was like, I need this done in 46 hours, right? And then when I came back the next day, I was like, well, fuck, this shit's got to get in the mail. What the fuck am I going to do? It's not going to get here in time. So I went into the Walgreens.
Say CVS.
I grabbed a box of bullshit. I came home. I put it on, and it said you're supposed to leave it on for 15 minutes. I left it on for 8 minutes, washed it out, because I was like...
You got nervous. I do that, too.
Well, I thought I would rather not have a massive fuck up. Right?
Under than over.
And it literally did about a 50% job. And it got me through whatever event. And so then I got bold. And the next week I went back and I did it for another, I think I went for 11 minutes this time. And it did almost complete coverage. And I was like, what the fuck have I been doing? This is $11. It is not literally 4.5 hours of my time that if I miss it, my whole world is fucked. Now, my hair does not look, at least in the beginning, did not look as good as when I was going to get it from her. But over time, either I've forgotten how good it looked, or I've realized
I've lowered the bar so low.
Lowered the bar so low. Right. So I'm like, well, fuck it. Right.
I'm croning. I'm in my croning era.
So I have not been scheduling these appointments, which means I have not been getting my hair cut. And people with short hair can't relate. People with long hair, once it's so at a certain length, bitch, just keep going. It doesn't really matter. Shit's down to my waist. That's too long.
Wow.
It's down to my fucking waist. It is too long. And I noticed at Thanksgiving, my niece, her hair looked good. It looked real good. And I even said to her, girl, what you fucking do with your hair? Because something, come on now. And she's like, yeah. But meanwhile, she's got sense that I don't have. And it was just about to her collarbone. And I thought I could do that. And then that's why we're talking about my tits at the holiday party. I happened to mention I'm going to be cut. That's what it was. And they said, no, you got to go tit length. And they went to grab the hair and grab my boop boop. So that's how we were talking about tits.
Okay.
Right. But at the same time, I feel like I need to just cut it the fuck OFF. Right? Why? It's going to grow back. hair grows all the time in all the ways.
Every day.
And I got a lot of it. And I almost feel like I have too much of it. And when you're constantly putting it back and putting it up and doing all these fucking things, well, if you just hack it off, it's going to be the same length as when you were putting it up and putting it back. I don't know. But then I think, girl, don't do it. I'm not going to do it. I was just thinking about doing it.
Girl.
I did it. So I didn't do it. But I almost did it before this Christmas party. I had the scissors in my hand. And I thought.
You're doing it yourself?
Yeah, fuck it. I was able,
why?
I was able to make that box shit work. It's just cut it off.
No.
I've seen TikTok, and then they go chicka chicka chow chow on the bottom, and it's fine. Everybody's going to be fine. Everybody's going to be fine.
Do it yourself. Do you not have TikTok? Have you ever seen someone, even hair cutters, even the woman who cuts your hair doesn't cut her own hair?
I'm going to go slow. I'm going to go real slow.
Okay, or do it fast. Doesn't matter.
I meant I'll just take off a little. I'll just take off 4 inches to start. That's all. You wouldn't even know it. If I had done it, first of all, look at me right now. For me to cut off 4 inches means that where the bottom part of my hair in this frame, that would just be the end of my hair. Now watch me stand up.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how much extra hair I have. So if I cut it just to the bottom of this frame, it's down to my nippity tits. It's to my nippity tits, Rusty. I need to cut it.
I still think you should have a
I'm
professional
bold.
cut your hair.
I make the rules. I can do
I
what
don't
I
even
want.
care if you go to the hair cuttery. No offense.
No, they
No
don't
offense.
love me. I love me. I have love for myself and fear. These are two good traits when you got scissors in your hand, right?
Fear and love. Yes,
right.
I don't
That's why you
disagree.
trust a Moyle, because that man
Oh,
knows.
yeah,
he knows what's getting ready to happen if you make a mistake. So I'm just gonna go real slow, real slow, and take off little snippety tits. And then how hard can it? Also, what's the fucking problem? I'm going for full witch, right? First of all, I got witch hair right now, which is part of the reason I gotta stop it. I gotta bring it back into some kind of a fold. I gotta re-enter society. I gotta start wearing things that look normal.
I would really like to encourage you to seek a professional to cut your hair.
For fuck's sake!
I would really like to encourage you to.
You
seek
just
a
work at a
professional.
salon. That's all.
Not if I can help it. Honestly, I would really love for a professional. You have your hair, like Sex and the City. The City is a character in that show. It is everything.
That's true.
Your hair is a character. It is an entire entity. And for you to silence it with scissors and fear is not.
No. But
and
let's
fear,
keep your analogy going. Okay. You remember when Julia Roberts did Mystic Pizza and everybody wanted to talk, and the first thing she did was cut her hair real short, in a real bad haircut, if I may say. But she did cut it real short because she was like, "Yeah, it ain't about the hair. You need to look at me. You need to look at me for me."
Felicity did that too.
Maybe. Who's that? Is that Carrie Russell?
Yes, she did Felicity, and her hair was a character in that show. And then she cut it, and everyone was like, "Oh, what'd you do?" She was still adorable and amazing, and it got even cuter when it was short. But the shock
I'm Carrie
of it,
Russell. I'm not as attractive as Carrie Russell, but I have Carrie Russell vibes. Okay,
agree.
I have Carrie Russell vibes because her whole vibe is, I've got something that's so good, I don't have time to fucking do my hair, and I'm like, yes,
Hair was
and
so
also simultaneously, my hair looked good. So that's Carrie Russell. I've just described her, and you're welcome. United Artist Agency. I have just given you the best fucking 2-sentence description of your premium talent that you could ever fucking want. I'm so good. Why am I not famous? I'm so good. That was a puzzle I almost bought for Christmas as a gift. It says the puzzle is in all script, and it says, "Why are we not famous?" And it's a little puzzle that you put together. I'm like, that's perfect. But I didn't get it. And why did I not get it, Melissa? It speaks to lack. And when you speak to lack, if you are in a constant state of trying, of acquiring, of marching toward, of progress, right? You're never in the state of achieving, of receiving, of abundance. When you are in a state of gratitude and giving to others, you cannot give from what you do not have. Therefore, to be able to give is an automatic level up into abundance. Abundance of time, abundance of spirit, abundance of joy, abundance of connection, abundance of love. And when you have all of the love in the universe, it flows in and out, it permeates, and it automatically keeps you buoyant where you need to be. Give, because you have it. Decide that what you have is more than you could ever possibly need. Even the shit that you have that you're not even aware that you fucking have it. There are people right now that you are unaware of who are speaking your name in dulcet tones.
I
and
believe
saying,
that.
I love this.
I
I
don't believe
love
that.
her. She makes my life so much better. I'm so grateful to have her. All of that fucking good juju is floating out there right now. You're on one level, you're not aware of it. And on another really clear, really science will fucking prove me out level, you are aware of it. Grab a hold of those connections and ride that pony to the promised land where the Christmas trees are only 10 cents. Woo! And the jelly donuts taste like Jesus blood. You'll love it. Come on, man. Let's go. That's something happened at the end there. It wasn't great, but you're going to love it there.
This podcast just became self-help.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't know about that.
I'm going to endorse it, though. I'll take it because I'm going to pretend I'm one of the lucky people. I'm going to live as if I'm one of the lucky. I am lucky.
You are fucking lucky.
I am incredibly lucky. I'm so lucky to have friends like you. I'm lucky to have everything I physically have, but we're lucky to have these listeners who write in and send us packages. We are incredibly lucky. We are, and I do realize that. It is harder to hold on to that thread when one slips and falls and winds up, sick and hurt and the whole nine. It is harder to focus on that, but I will try. I will try to rein it in, to just concentrate on what I have and the joys and the luck I do have. And we were identifying that as we were driving with our new SUV rental in Florida with the massive dent in the back from getting rear-ended. As we saw, listening to a truck that had jackknifed on the Florida highway, and we thought, what truck falling over would benefit us the most?
Ooh.
What? So I think my husband said, a Brinks truck with all the money. I'm like, okay, asshole, we are not wishing for more wishes. We are just saying we are driving down the highway right now, and if there was like a Lay's truck with chips or a, what did we say? Drake's Cakes and Hostess. Like, what truck? And then he went for Costco because it has all the things he wants, and he is Costco boy. Amy, what truck overturned would bring your heart, as long as the driver was safe and everybody was okay, would bring your heart joy?
I don't know why. I have to come up with a better answer than the first one that I came up with.
Which is what?
Live chickens. Which is not good for anybody, but except the chickens. I mean, why don't hang your head? It would be funny and fun. And also, fuck you, because they have a hard life. And now they get to go.
Do you remember when a truck full of monkeys
How could I ever forget?
got in an accident, and there were like 3 monkeys that escaped, and they were out there, and we pictured him with a monocle and a 3-piece suit just running around.
Oh, and they were getting laid. Oh, I'm so happy for those monkeys, man. Let's go. And somebody overturned some kind of a thing full of fish. That wasn't the same thing. That was just sadness. Because the fish is already dead, and now we're all
smelly.
sad.
Yeah, we're all. That's a
No,
business
I don't
killer.
feel like I want those chickens because they're tortured anyway, and then they'll just be torturing them worse to like some kind of a new death. In my fantasy life,
Tell me,
the chickens go on to a better highway-based reality, right? I know that's not the truth.
Can you tell me from our last episode what your last highway-based reality was with your son when you were on the side of the road?
Oh, no. Well,
that's a highway-based
right.
reality.
Okay. All right. Well,
so skip the chickens because that was not really well, pardon this, fleshed out.
I don't see why there's trouble with the gold bar truck or the Brinks truck. I don't think that's extra wishes. I don't feel like that's extra wishes at all. Money is literally a commodity. So you're saying let's increase the difficulty for ourselves, and it can't be money. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well then,
okay, Jeannie.
The next one is I want it to be prisoners, and that's not good either.
Oh, I don't mind that one.
No, because they'll kill us. I just feel like whoever's in the truck
are not going to kill you.
I feel like the cargo needs to be liberated. Like that's where my brain is going. I'm not.
No, I like the prisoners. I like the prisoners one.
But I
could
want
endorse
to benefit from the cargo. Like, what if it was a bunch of music? Like
it was hot prisoners.
It
You
was
would
all
benefit
these.
from the cargo.
It was a completely organized iTunes library that was just going to land on me somehow and digitally lap into my lap.
So you're saying a truck of art.
Yes. For me to have and keep.
Going from the Smithsonian to doesn't matter where to fill to the White House.
People want all these TVs at that party last night. The TVs are too big. They couldn't take them home. It was kind of like, I don't have a truck. Literally, it was like a 58. It was one of those massive, you might see at Costco, ridiculous TVs. They all won. I'm like, I don't know. Good luck to you. Somebody else won like a sound system with a giant box. Yes, all these things, right? But you just told me you want less. You did go for food, though.
I went for consumables. Yeah, I went for, I don't know, a Hershey's truck, but Hershey's isn't the best chocolate. So I actually went with the chocolate place that's down at the beach that I love so much. If that truck fell over right into my house, I'd like that a lot.
Nice.
A lot. I'd like it a lot.
Nice. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Something that's not exactly perishable, but I really liked your prisoner one. I did. I'm going to endorse that. I'd like to change my answer.
Let it
please.
go. They'll slice your throat.
No, they won't.
Well,
They're
maybe.
not those kind of prisoners. There's been a lot of drone activity over this country.
Yeah.
Why are all the drones over our homes?
I am this close to buying the Navy SEALs Bug-In book. I am really starting to embrace.
Really?
Yes. Because there is something to be said for I am completely unprepared for catastrophe. And I live my life with such acute trust that catastrophe is not coming. That said, I don't think it's a bad idea to have a book on the shelf. Like, I'm not going to go out and fill an oil drum with water or grain or any of this shit. But there is...
How about your barrel of beans? You can run your fingers through that for days.
You know what? You know what? You're going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry, okay? And who have the onion and the bean? Who has it? You might have all the guns and the oil, but what do I have?
I don't have any guns. Let's be clear. This bitch is gun-free.
Well, the thing is...
Just my wit.
There is at least one person in the world who says... all the richies want to talk about, all the government want to talk about, like a 3-ring circus. Let's look at the drones. Let's look over here. Let's do this, distraction. While more and more fundamental rights, fundamental processes, fundamental organizations plundered. I've heard now that the FDIC is somehow at risk, that we're going to stop funding the FDIC because who does that benefit? So now we're not going to support banks anymore?
Banks keep going. The Department of Education is a goner. It's
at least probably because the FDIC, in order to maintain solvency, probably has some rules that you have to follow. And big money doesn't want to follow rules. So doesn't mind if little money actually has protected money. So not to go anywhere there, but I would say to you, drones are an active attempt to squash the proletariat. And it is time for us to rise up and take what's ours.
Rise up.
I mean,
how do we do that?
Luigi Mangione.
Oh, you got the right side of your mouth.
In the head. We're gonna kill the CEO. I'm just trying to say. I don't endorse violence. We're not going to kill the CDOs.
And this show does not endorse violence.
We don't kill the CDOs, the CTOs, the CMOs, none of the O's. Oh, it's tragic. Yeah, we're not shooting any of them in the head. We're not.
That was great.
They're all going to live. They're all going to live to defraud another day. But here's what we are going to do. We can cut off the pipeline of what they most need and want. And that's the workers. Okay? No, you're not getting a fucking cheeseburger today because we ain't cooking it. And no, we're not going to process your heating oil today. And no, we're not going to walk your dog or do whatever it is that keeps your big mansion going.
This country could not organize like that to say no. They just can't because money speaks.
Because we don't have TikTok. Say it.
Because you're taking away our TikTok. And they are. Because of a complete misunderstanding of where the money and data is housed, which is in country, not out of country. They don't care to know.
They just want the profit. It has nothing to do with anything.
They are. I can't. I'm not doing politics on the show. Dear listener.
I'm here to say that the drones are a distraction. Here's what I know of the little that I know. Everything is transient. right? So put your focus and your energy on expanding the moments that are great instead of trying to process and deal with the moments that aren't. It's too much to deal with. Let it go. I don't know. Are you Chuck Mangione me? Sing it, Chuck.
Let me sing. On that
Blow
note,
that brass, bitch. Let's go.
On that note, you've got the past, the present, and the future to think about. And right now we are thinking about you, dear listener, and we are grateful for your past support, your present support, and we know into the new year you will be here with us.
See?
We love you. We're grateful for you. And come back. Write us. brilliantobservations@gmail.com.
You know
Visit us on the socials. You know where to go. Look,
You know
if
it.
you don't, look us up. You are pretty educated humans. You can find it. We love you.
Bye. Upon first burp,